Good evening, Internet. It is I, the Real Shroom, and tonight I'm going to go into the Pioneer format on MTGO and play some Simic Control. Simic Control? Do you mean Simic Flash Shroom? Well, not exactly. Let's take a look at what we're working with. So if you know me, you know I like to play control decks, usually blue-black based. But what's the bad thing about control decks? Well, they're very potent, and they can make you feel like you can't be beaten if you get the right draws, etc. One problem with control decks, though, is that you have to go shields down sometimes. You have to tap out for your win con, your Planeswalker or your Shark Typhoon. Not me, but a lot of control players play that card. And anyway, the point is, at some point, you have to deploy your threat. And when you do that, usually you aren't going to have a counterspell to back you up. And a good player can get you to expend your resources when you don't want to, so that, by the time you have to tap out for your Planeswalker or your big threat, they have the answer ready to go, and they can punish you for it. But what if you were able to always have your shields up, never had to go shields down? What if you were able to deploy threats while keeping interaction up the entire time? And so tonight I'm going to test this theory that ramp can be really good in a control deck, and that's why we're playing Simic. So the form of ramp we're going to use, and there are many you can choose from. The form we are going to use is the variety of Growth Spiral. So we are playing the 4 of Growth Spiral, and we're playing ramp that adds lands to the battlefield. We want Growth Spiral effects because it is instant speed. And this is true ramp. It puts us lands ahead of where we would be if we were just making 1 land drop per turn. We're also playing 4 of Eureka Moment, which, it is a growth spiral that costs 4 mana, but it draws us 2 cards instead of just 1. So, like control decks like to have, this is our card draw piece that also doubles as a ramp piece. So these 2 spells are going to make it so that we can deploy our big green beaters while having counterspells up at all times. And we do have the 5 mana dorks as well to support our plan of ramping, although they all are vulnerable to removal, of course. They do get us further ahead on mana. So we are green, which means that we have access to a whole variety of really efficiently costed creatures that we can use to beat our opponents down. We're going to start with some werewolf pack leaders. We have kind of a grab bag of good green creatures as threats. Werewolf pack leaders are a 2-drop for the 3-drop slot. I really like these guys. They're 2 mana 3/3s that can draw us cards. They can get bigger than 3/3 if you invest some mana in them. So that's pretty sweet. For 3-drops, we have a Tireless Tracker, which can get us clues and cards. Old Growth Troll, this card from Mono Green Devotion. It's just really hard to get rid of. When it dies once, it just comes right back. It's a 4/4 Trampler for 3 mana, very efficient. Steel Leaf Champion, also very efficient. A 5/4 for 3 mana is great. And it can't be blocked by weenies, so that's good in a lot of matchups as well. And then we've got some bigger stuff as well. We got a couple of Battle Mammoths, which is, we're going to foretell this on 2 a lot. So essentially this is a 4-drop. It's a 6/5 Trampler that whenever a permanent we control becomes a target of a spell or ability, and opponent controls, we draw a card. So it's also a form of card draw in addition to being just a 6/5 beater. We got a couple of Elder Gargaroths. I just love this big green threat. This shuts down games. 5 mana 6/6 Vigilance, Reach, Trample. Whenever it attacks or blocks, you get to create a 3/3 or gain 3 life or draw a card. So it's good in any situation that you might be in. If you can protect it, as we know, those of us who have faced this card, it's just devastating and it wins the game pretty fast. We've got a Cavalier of Thorns because this is a busted card. We all know about that. I'm running a 1 of Green Warden of Mirasa. I've already really liked this card. It is 6 mana for 5/4. That is basically a double regrowth. When it ETBs, we can return a card from our graveyard to our hand, and when it dies, we get to do the same thing. We have to exile it, but that's fine. We get another regrowth. So I do like this 6 mana 5/4 that regrowths twice. What counterspells are we working with? Well, we said we want to keep up interaction at all times, right? So we've got a bunch of counterspells in our deck. We want them to be cheapish because, we're not going to get so far ahead on mana, most likely until very late in the game, that we can, a Gargaroth plus hold up a cancel. But we should, most of the time, be able to hold up 1 or 2 mana for a counterspell. So running Double Spell Pierce, really like this card. It's good in many situations against a lot of stuff. We've got a 2 of Essence Scatter, which is our removal. We're in Simic. We don't have a lot of good options in the way of creature removal. Countering creatures as they come down is probably going to be our primary means and best means of dealing with creatures. We got a couple of Decisive Denials, which are mana leaks for non-creature spells, or they're a fight spell. So it doubles as sort of removal. You know, our bigger creatures can fight down smaller blockers using this card and then get in for damage. And we've got 3 Saw It Comings, just as hard counters. We can foretell this for 2 mana. And that's another reason why I'm running the Battle Mammoths, is because when I run Saw It Coming, which I do like to do, I like to run other foretell spells as well, so that just to keep our opponents guessing, you know, so that they don't know automatically that our foretelled spell is always going to be a Saw It Coming. So we got 3 of Saw It Coming as a hard counter. We can foretell onto and play later in the game as a counter spell for 2 mana and only 1 blue. And then we've got a 1 of Tyvar's Stand, which is basically blanks a removal spell against one of our creatures. It also can be, it gives it hexproof and indestructible. We can also play it as a giant, like, Howl from Beyond. If we happen to have our opponent with no blockers and no interaction, we can just pour a whole bunch of mana into the spell to get in a lethal attack. Other stuff that we have, I forgot to mention the 1 Brazen Borrower, which is just a good, cheap, interactive piece. You know, it can bounce something, comes down as a 3/1 flyer. You know this card, it's Eldraine, it's kind of busted. And it's really handy to have 1 of those. In case something resolves, like a Shieldred or something, we can bounce it and maybe have a prayer of counter it on the way down, because that is a card that is very problematic to us. And of course, we're running 1 Nissa Who Shakes the World, which is a very good ramp piece. There's a total of 9 forests in the mana base. It's possible there should be more, but 9 forests that she can double up to, you know, have our lands add extra mana. She also makes our lands vigilant for some reason and 3/3 creatures. So, you know, we can untap one of our 4 breeding pools and hold up a Decisive Denial or, like, you know, a Foretold Saw It Coming or an Essence Scatter, because she's just kind of busted that way. So that is the main board plan. We're going to ramp up such that we can deploy our mid-range green threats while keeping counterspells up to protect our stuff and interact with our opponents. The sideboard has another Essence Scatter against creature-heavy matchups, a couple more Decisive Denials against, like, control matchups. This is our answer to negate. It's also good in creature-heavy matchups because it's more fight spells. We want to interact with our opponent using creatures often if possible. So we've got 1 Scooze for graveyards, a couple of Reclamation Sages for artifacts and enchantments. We got a couple of Obstinate Balos, which are good against Liliana of the Veil. Also good against, like, mono-red aggro. A Thrun and 2 Carny Teas will come in against control. A couple of Soul Guide Lanterns are good against the graveyard as well, like Greasefang. And a couple of Damping Spheres to bring in against Lotus Field or Izzet Phoenix. So I think that the idea behind the deck is sound. Is the build correct? And this is tricky deck to build because, you know, you have all the elements that you need. There's like several different ones. You need the counter spells. You need the ramp pieces. You need the threats that will beat down your opponents and kill them and win the game for you as you hold up your counter spells. So that means that you need, like, a lot of card draw, as is the case with a lot of these decks. So do we have everything in the right proportion where we're going to see the cards that we need when we need them? I don't know. But I do think that the idea behind the ramping in a control deck is a sound idea. And I like it better, actually, than the idea of the Simic Flash deck, which does let you, you know, not do anything on your opponent's turn and, like, play like a Nightpack Ambusher, fine creature. But I think green has better creatures than Nightpack Ambusher and Brazen Borrower. And in a build like this, you get to take advantage of, like, those Elder Gargaroths, Cavaliers of Thorns, and those Mammoths, Steel Leaf Champions, these really awesome 3-drops. So whether the proportions of everything are right remains to be seen. But in theory, this deck, I think, will be fun. And let's see if we can win some games in the practice queue. So that's the deck, and if you want to support me and you enjoy off-meta, off-kilter MTG content, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. Alright, we have our first match here against the Nobodies, and we're going to be on the draw. This looks like a keep. We've got a Mana Elf. We've got stuff to do. Opponent mulls to 6. Alright, so it's one of these artifact decks. So I think I'll start on Lair. Elf. Are they an Ensoul deck? Yeah, they sure are. Yikes. Okay. That's a fast clock. Well, Otawara will be good when we get to it. For this turn, I think we're just foretelling. Fable the Mirror Breaker. Well, Orcish Bowmaster is not legal in Pioneer, but Fable sure is. Alright, drawing all my hinterland harbors. So we've got to Otawara the map token. Fortunately, they resolved the Fable, so they just get to ramp. And they've got another Ensoul. Okay, doesn't mean that we lose this turn. So, is there any preference for which one to bounce? I guess the Darksteel Citadel is indestructible. Wait, do I just lose 5, 6, 7, 8? I do just lose. Because I have to tap my elf to cast it to use Otawara. Okay. Well, Ensoul decks can do that. That was a good draw for our opponent. We want our Rex Sages for sure. Is there anything else that's good? Decisive Denial is like our answer to negate. Saw it coming is probably a little slow. Don't think we need the Green Warden. We want Spell Pierce for sure. Essence Scatter isn't great, but it's something. Lose a Tyvar stand. Lose a Decisive... No, not Decisive Denial. Let's lose a Eureka Moments. Okay, I like Spell Pierce. Do I like 6 lands plus Spell Pierce? One of the land I have Eureka Moment also. And a Beseiju? Yeah, that's a keep. So we'll start on Botanical Sanctum. There's the stupid thing that makes maps. Rex Sage is good. So let's go Forest. All right. I think I'll just Boseiju the map token. I don't know if that was the best call. It makes more sense to spell pierce the first one, because that gives them a land now. Yeah, that was a mistake. I should have spell pierced that one and besaged you the second one. Alright, there's a Rex Sage. I think I'll pass. I could have Rex Saged the blood token. Hopefully what they do is don't play a land and then go for Ensoul on the blood token. Or the Darksteel Citadel. Okay. We will spell pierce. Growth Spiral. Alright. I think we hold off. And Eureka Moment. Alright, they're just attacking with their chumps, that's fine. Inti. Super busted card. Yeah, I guess that happens. A Foretold card. And we don't draw a land to put in. Can I draw a land now? Yes, thank you. Yeah, let's shock. And let's just go for Garg. There's the Ensoul. I'm gonna take this. Because I do have Rex Sages. Alright, let's attack. What do I want to do here? I think I want to make a 3/3. Then let's go for a Rex Sage. Blow up the Ensoul artifacts. And I think hold up Growth Spiral. Have we weathered the storm? They only have 2 cards in hand. Fable. Well, we got another Rex Sage. Alright, let's Growth Spiral. Put our breeding pool onto the battlefield tapped. Botanical Sanctum. Alright, let's go attacking here. And let's make a 3/3. They could trade their whole board for my Gargaroth if they wanted to. They don't. Let's Rex Sage. Get rid of the Fable. Tap land. Mana Dork. Pass the turn. We've got a big, wide, beefy board. Dual Strike. Copy Shrapnel Blast. Well, that's too bad. Alright, I guess we should have been gaining life with our, Maybe we should have been gaining life. Would have been nice to draw a counterspell there. Okay. Well, we lost a close one to Ensoul. Ensoul got the nut draw game 1. And that's something that deck can do, is just put out a bunch of 5/5s really fast. So, close one. Alright, Silent Spec is our second opponent. The Reaper King avatar. I think I played against that an EDH deck. Isn't that like a Scarecrow or something? Scarecrow Commander? Alright, we've got Spell Pierce we can keep up on turn 1. We've got counter spells, so I think this is a keep. Should help us protect ourselves a little bit. Case of the Gorgon's Kiss. Destroy up to 1 target creature that has dealt damage this turn. To solve, 3 or more creatures put in the graveyard from anywhere this turn. And it becomes a 4/4 Gorgon with Death Touch and Lifelink. Okay. So that's a new Murderous card. I haven't seen that one, but it's pretty cool. Yeah, I think we shock. The Ancient One. You can't attack or block unless there are 8 or more permanents in your graveyard. Draw a card, then discard a card. When you discard a card, the target player mills cards equal to its mana value. Okay. You bought a Beholder pet from Arena? Nice. My avatar is the Baleful Beholder. Alright, I think I still want to hold up Spell Pierce, so I'll just drop a Forest. Say go. Another Case of the Gorgon's Kiss. Okay. Well, we don't have any creatures at the moment, so that doesn't do much. So now do I drop out this Werewolf Pack Leader? They have 2 cards in hand. I do have a Spell Pierce, so I think so. So they're trying to mill creatures into their graveyard in order to flip their Gorgons. That's what it looks like. Stalactite Stalker, uh-huh. Citrus Plier gonna do some milling. They are empty-handed. Do I even want to attack and kill their dudes? Is a question. And I believe I do. Not this turn. Next turn I will because I can draw a card. Steel Leaf Champ's pretty good here. Drawing and discarding. Milling 2. So the Ancient One's getting close to being able to block. Now they flip both of those into 4/4 Gorgons. Interesting. And this thing's almost to the point where it can block also. It's an 8/8 for 2 mana. I think we've pretty much lost this game. Okay. So if I attack, I'm gonna lose both my guys. Let's just see what happens. I'm gonna draw a card. So one or the other of my creatures is dying here. I think I will besiege you that one. All right, our opponent's all on the new murders cards, which is cool. There were a couple I considered putting in here. Like Archdruid's Charm actually would be decent as a one of, just to be able to tutor up a creature that's appropriate at instant speed. Also, there's an argument to be made for the Surveil land that is the land types. Souls of the Lost. Okay, I think they got us here. Really cool deck, but we've got sideboard against it. Soul Guide Lantern. For sure. I think we want Reclamation Sage. Skoos for sure. We can cut stand. I saw it coming. Issa. Grey Warden. I think I want Essence Scatter. I like Decisive Denial too. Moments. Decisive Denial is not very good against the Ancient one. Run 61. Yeah, this hand doesn't really do anything, so that's a mulligan. This hand has a Soul Guide Lantern. Is that enough? Do I want to go to 5? I really don't want to go to 5. I guess I'm keeping a bottom. Eureka moments? This is not a good hand. Well, drawing a land would have been handy. Let's go for an elf. And I guess a Soul Guide Lantern. Exile the Soul of the Lost. There's the Ancient one. We missed our land drop again. Well, I guess we're summoning a troll. We don't even have a forest to enchant if it dies. Feeling themselves. Souls of the Lost. Okay. So I guess we are exiling your graveyard. A lot of elves, not a lot of lands. So let's get in with the crew. Looks like we're doing this the hardest of hard ways. Llanowar Elf beatdown, not exactly where we want to be. Invasion of Amonkhet. What should I discard? Another Llanowar Elf? Oh, we're blocking. And we still don't draw land. They can block with the Stitch of Supplier, and then the Ancient one will go online, I think. Oh, they just take it. So now this guy's online and is an 8/8. 2 mana 8/8 is pretty good. I don't know. We lose all our mana if we do this double block. But they get... What are they going to get? A Steel Leaf Champion or another Soul of the Lost? I mean, I don't think we can win either way, really. I think we just let him through. Do we go down to 1 mana? And not even a blue source. Okay. So, yeah, we got severely mana screwed there. Maybe we should have mulled to 5. 1 lander with 3 elves in hand. I don't know. You don't expect to draw like that in a 24 land deck, but it happens. I like our opponent's deck, though. Alright, Evil Boon 1 is our opponent, will be on the play. Got double Hinterland Harbor. We can hold up Essence Scatter on turn 2 with our Otawara, so I guess I'll keep. Den of the Bugbear and me without my Field of Ruins. Okay. Gonna hold up Essence Scatter. Young Pyromancer. Beseiju. So I think I'll play my tap land. And I'll foretell this Mammoth. Another Young Pyromancer. Alright, let's play Besiege You. And let's cast our Mammoth. Lightning Strike. Targeting my face. Skewer targeting my face. Skewer targeting my face. Okay. Convoking. Stoke the Flames targeting my face. So they have one card in hand. I'm at 7. I think I don't attack. I certainly don't shock. Let's play this troll. I did not know this deck was capable of doing 13 in one turn, they say. Let's not shock. Probably could do more. They're down to just 2 cards in hand, and Gargaroth is going to help a lot. As long as they don't just burn us to the face directly right now. Opponent has a lot of burn spells. No attack. Alright, let's go for Garg. No attack. Just hope they don't have 4 more points of burn. Okay, they got a land. They could have Stoke the Flames. Alright, I am going to check with my Garg. They would have to give up their whole board to take it down. We'll gain 3 life. We do have Counterspell backup now. I guess they could activate their Den of the Bugbear and block with 3 tokens. But they don't. They just block with 4 tokens. Okay. That's fine. Searing Blood. We'll counter that. We will draw a card. And they scoop. Okay. Yeah, that was a risky play. They got totally blown out by the counter. Alright. So we definitely want Obstinate Baloths. Probably Scavenging Ooze. Essence Scatter. Decisive. Let's cut a couple of Sot Comings. Damping Sphere might be good as well. Let's cut Nissa. I like Spell Pierce. Let's cut a Eureka. Cut a Grey Warden. I don't know, maybe Scavenging Ooze isn't that good, since they probably don't have that many creatures. Try it like that. Opponent's a little salty about that last game. That is a mulligan, as it's only one land. That's a keep, and I'll bottom. Probably Brazen Borrower. I mean, that was an extremely risky play they took. If they just activated their den and blocked with their tokens plus the den, things would have been much different. I guess I have to shock. Chain to the rocks on my elf. Alright. Tap land plus elf. Rampaging Ferocidon. Alright, play Pack Leader. Lightning Strike. Targeting Pack Leader. Okay. I wouldn't mind an Obstinate Baloth right about now. Botanical Sanctum. Chandra's Phoenix. Sure. Let's growth spiral. Let's fight off the pyro. Opponent forgot to attack. So I'm going to pretend that I'm at 9. I mean, I got nothing going on right now. Well, that's something. Another chain to the rocks. Alright, I think damping spheres are coming out in favor of Rex Sages. So really I'm at 4. Obstinate Baloth. Well, I mean, it is a good draw. Now I'd like to draw a Gargaroth, needless to say. Alright, so we go to 8, Virtual 6. Hinterland Harbor. I mean, I guess I start attacking with my land. Since I have nothing else to do. Stoke the flames. 4 to my face. Alright. It's a lot of burn spells. So let's get in our Rex Sages. I think I actually still do want Damping Spheres. I like Brazen Borrower. Tyvar Stand. Just gotta draw Gargaroths. I don't know, though. I gotta board something out. Yeah, I mean, I guess I gotta lose the spheres. Something has to go. Maybe lose. I mean, our 5 drops just win the game for us when they resolve. Lose all the Saw It Comings. Stick with Essence Scatter, Spell Pierce, Decisive Denial. Alright. So, do I shock? Is a question. I'm keeping. This may not be a good keep, but it is what it is. It looks like I'm shocking, because this is the only thing that facilitates Elf into turn 2 Elf plus Spell Pierce. Okay, Botanical Sanctum. Let's play another Elf. Pass. Could have attacked there, but I want to make him think that I have something that I don't. Swift Spear. I'll take one. Could have gone for a double block there, but... Alright. We'll Spell Pierce the Skewer. Now I need to draw good cards. Let's draw a good card. Essence Scatter's a good card. I think I'll attack. Chandra's Phoenix. Whenever I'm dealt damage by an instant or sorcery spell. I guess I'm gonna counter it. It's gonna come back. But it does prevent 2 damage right now. Oh, there's our Gargaroth. Opponent has nothing but complaints about our Gargaroths. Just chain it to the rocks. For Rossadon. Alright, what am I going to do with my Gargaroth? I think I want to draw a card. Alright, let's play this Tireless Tracker. Taking damage. Hold up the spell. So one of their cards is the Phoenix. I was really hoping to draw land for the tireless tracker. Opponent says they have no good options. Well, then gotta use bad options. Bolting my Gargasaur. Gargadon, rather. Stoking my Gargadon. I mean, that was pretty good. Cavalier of Thorns. Alright, I'll attack with my tracker. Should have done that after the Cavalier, because the Cavalier can give me land. That was silly. Yeah, I could have drawn a card and buffed my tracker there. Okay. Attacking for 4. Gonna chump. Come on, let me add mana. There's the Phoenix. Skewer on my tracker. Growth Spiral. Problem is they just keep getting that back. So I'm playing another mana dork. I can boost these mana dorks to 3/3s. Okay, they can't get their Phoenix back this turn. So I think we got it? Maybe. We'll see. Yep, they have to stay back. We just draw another land. But they're forced to making some pretty horrific blocks. Wow, that ability is actually pretty clutch here. Because they have to block my 5/5 and my 6/6. Here comes the hive, or the den. And it looks like we got him. Yep, they could survive this turn technically. They had a skewer in their hand. Wait, what happened to their Phoenix? Oh, it's in their graveyard. We're against Nessin, and we have a 0-lander, so that's obviously a mulligan. Opponent kept 7. This hand, all it has is Growth Spiral and Eureka Moments. I don't think we can keep that. So I guess we're going to 5. We'll keep this. Bottom. Probably our big spells. Gargaroth and Nissa. We got double Hinterland Harbor too. That's awkward. Another super aggressive red deck. Okay. Another heroic deck. Or a heroic deck. There was one match that didn't appear in this stream due to difficulties, which was also a Boros heroic deck. And we similarly had a terrible hand against them in game 1. Alright, well we can at least pack leader. So we're taking 4. And let that go. I guess I'm just gonna hold up Counterspell or Growth Spiral. Another Defiant Strike. Yeah, we'd love to find our Brazen Borrower. I gotta block something. So I guess it'll be that guy. Feather, well, we gotta counter that. All right. We do have Otawara, which is pretty good. I think I'll attack with a pack leader. Tenth Legion, District Legionnaire. Okay. Homestead Courage. Which can be flashed back by either of those guys. I think I bounced the Legionnaire because they don't actually have the mana to replay it right now. Whereas the Hoplite, they could immediately just replay. Cavalier of Thorns. Well, I guess I'm just playing my tracker and double blocking the Hoplite or something. Doing something. I can double block the Hoplites. I guess that's what I'm doing. Oh no, then I die. So I have to block both the 4 power attackers. And then I'm gonna die. Okay. So give me Essence Scatter. Obstinate Baloth. Reclamation Sage. Skoos. Damping Sphere. One Decisive Denial. The problem with like countering their non-creature stuff is that they just get the value on cast. It doesn't actually have to resolve. Still, you want some amount of those. Saw it coming is just going to be too slow. Green Warden's probably not going to be relevant by the time it comes about, if it ever does. Cuts. Cuts. Tyvar stand could help us win a fight, I guess. Yeah, cutting our Eureka moments. Run 61. Alright, we got a Brazen Borrower and an Otawara. That's good. So we'll keep. Hoplite. I'll play my elf. I'll wait for them to load up the hoplite a little bit first. There's the Legionnaire. Alright, let's go for Tireless Tracker. And let's play a land. Get a treasure. Or a clue, rather, not a treasure. Wish it was a treasure. Feather. We will block. And Tyvars to keep our tracker alive. Decisive Denial. That's pretty good. Did I play my land this turn? I believe I did. Whenever you cast an instant that card targets creature, exile that card instead of putting it into your graveyard as it resolves. If you redo, return it to your hand at the beginning of the next end step. But if Feather's not on the battlefield, does it still go back to their hand? Don't think so. Illuminator Virtuoso. Ancestral Anger. Let's think about this. Becomes the target of a spell it connives. Is double strike. Grow, fight. I don't have enough mana to grow my tracker, fight something, and bounce something. So I think I'll just grow my tracker. Draw Rex Sage. Then I'll fight Illuminator Virtuoso. Alright, they attack for 3. Obstinate Baloth. Well, let's crack this clue. Botanical Sanctum. I like ye. Attack with our tracker. Defiant Strike. Not gonna block. The question is, do I bounce something? I'm gonna take 6 damage here, putting me at 8. I do have this Obstinate Baloth. I could wait for them to go some more all in on something. I think I'm gonna wait. And just crack this clue. Alright, let's make another clue. Let's attack with our tracker. Four, five, six. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Get in a good chunk there. Play our Baloth. Gonna Defiant Strike their Hoplite. Sure. Gonna do it again. They choose Pro Green for their Hoplite. Okay. I suppose there's a danger that they could have another God's Willing. They do have God's Willing. So next turn, in response to my Brazen Borrower, they could God's Willing on blue, and then I would die. So I think I have to do this now. My next bounce effect is Otawara, so they can't God's willing that. Here's the hoplite. Yeah, they're just beefing up their dude. Good, they attack with feather. That's what we wanted. Okay. So, I think that we got this. Let's Otawara their blocker. And attack for lethal. Okay. So now we're going to be on the draw for game 3. I think I want Soul Guide Lanterns for sure. What do I cut here? Battle Mammoth. Tracker was pretty clutch there. Sweet. I want this Decisive Denials. And I want my big guys. I do want my big guys. Cut the Spell Pierces. Just because they still do get all that value. Cut a dork. We want our dorks. Damping Sphere. Yeah, okay. Let us indeed cut a Battle Mammoth. And a Eureka moment. Lucky 61. Well, Obstinate Baloth is good. Reclamation Sage might have been something I could have cut. Because that doesn't do much. Is this keepable? I don't think that it is. Obstinate Baloth is good, but if they get off to a fast start, this just isn't going to get it done. That's more like it. Essence Scatter and Brazen Borrower are more what we're looking for. So this is definitely a keep. And I think we bottom We actually bottom island because it can't produce green mana. Alright, we'll lead on our tap land. There's the Virtuoso. Alright. I think what I want to do is actually shock. Leave up Essence Scatter plus Brazen Bower. Defiant Strike. Yeah, I think we're petty thefting that. God's willing. Okay. So we're taking 8. Taking lethal? $14. Otawara. It has trample. So yeah, I think we're just dead. We're just one turn behind being able to Otawara. It's at least a 4/4 trample. Double strike. I guess I can besage you the monster roll is what I can do. So that leaves us not dead. But we're in pretty bad shape. Ancestral Anger. Is it +1? Yep. So I think we're still dead. +1/+1, it has trample. Yeah. We can destroy that. It doesn't get trample this way, so I can block. It still has trample? What? Oh, the Ancestral Anger gives it trample too, right? Yep. Alright, well, that's what that deck can do. Pretty nutty draw, but that's why you play that deck. Game 2 was good. Alright, our final match is against Jangans. We'll be on the play. Oh no, they have a Teferi avatar. That's a one-lander, so I think it's a mulligan. A Zorain raiding with a party of 6 raiders. Hello, how you doing? Thank you for the raid, Zorain. I don't think I can shout you out because I'm not that advanced of a Twitch streamer yet. I don't have those commands. My name's Rick, also known as Shroom. I'm playing like a Simic Ramp Control deck tonight. Very experimental, very early iteration, and we're mulliganing this one lander. What were you up to? Playing some MTG? Opponent also mulled to 6. I'll keep this one. And bottom. EDH game? Oh, sweet. Yeah, I'm playing some Pioneer right now. Keeping bottom Forest. And I'm scared of my opponent's Teferi avatar because I really don't want to play against control. Cool. Yeah, I play EDH about once a month or so at my LGS. It's really fun. I have 5 decks. Yeah, it looks like they are blue-white control. Great. So we'll run out our pack leader. Alright, let's play our forest. Get in for 3. Yeah, Essence Scatter is not a spell that I need to worry about. Get in for 3. Quick study. That's okay. What I want to counter is like the Wandering Emperor or Teferi. Another Decisive Denial. Alright, let's attack for 3. March. We'll counter it. I think I will play Beseju post-combat as a land. If it comes down to me having to destroy the Hall of Storm Giants, then I've already lost that game. What's your favorite commander? Another March? How about another counter? Breeding Pool. Now here's a question. Do I Green Warden, get back Decisive Denial? If I do that and they land Verdict, I lose. But I really have nothing else to do. So sure, let's go for it. Just hope we get lucky and they don't draw land number 4. Yes, Decisive Denial, please. At least not this turn. No untapped land Verdict. Okay, they didn't have it. Let's get in. Draw a card. Yavimaya Coast. They're going to make a shark. Sure. Gonna chump. Play our land, and we will save our Gargaroth for the post-verdict world. Okay, they never found land number 4. I'm not too sorry about that. So let's get our Carney Tees. Let's get our Thrun. Decisive Denial. We don't need Essence Scatter. We definitely still want Spell Pierce. Looks like they're packing the Exile-based removal, but I'm sure they have Supreme Verdict also. What's bad? I like Brazen Borrower because it could bounce shark tokens. Well, since I'm bringing in all these expensive creatures, I probably should cut some of mine. Like Cavalier, Nissa. Actually, Nissa, Planeswalkers tend to be good against control. Cut a Battle Mammoth. I like the Cavalier. Cut a Gargaroth. Run 61. All right. This is a respectable hand. Reckless Anchorage. So that can become a 2/3 flying bird. Wow, that's a good land. It only costs 3 to turn it into a creature. That's really good. Alright, we'll go for a dork. Alright, I think I'll tap out for a tracker. Yep, this is a card we're going to be seeing a lot of. Just what Pioneer Blue-Eye Control needed. Mana Leak, but better than Mana Leak. Looking forward to seeing that. Foretold card. So it could be Behold the Multiverse, could be Doomscar, I guess. I guess I'll play this and go for a Eureka moment on their end step. Alright, they play a tap land. Eureka! You don't smell so good yourself. They counter. Alright, I mean, they're trading 1 for 1, which is good. Another Eureka moment. Well, I guess I'll just play this tap land and say go. See how you feel about this one. Alright, I will put this breeding pool onto the battlefield tapped. I don't think I go for an attack with my creature land. If I attack, they could create a 3/3 shark and just eat my elf. So I think I'll just wait. No reason to play this into a sweeper. They get to start scrying. Eureka! Alright, let's put this island onto the battlefield. Eureka! Let's put this breeding pool onto the battlefield. Spell Pierce. If I go to attack with my land, they just feel to ruin it. One, two, three, four, five. It means they can't scry this turn, so that's something, I suppose. Yep. They feel the ruin. I feel so naked with no Field of Ruins in my list. Okay. Memory Deluge. Yeah, let's Spell Pierce. I like you with just 2 cards in hand. Starnheim Unleashed. Let's Decisive Denial. Crazy. Alright, get in with our elves. 18 turn clock. Coming at you. I think we'll just play Brazen Borrower. More lands. Oh, did I not make my land drop this turn? Oops. It doesn't matter. I have enough mana to both counter and Otawara something. So, slight mistake. Deluge counter? Now we don't have any more counter spells. Okay, there's the verdict. I could bounce my Brazen Borrower. I think I'll do that. It's kind of the best thing I've got going at the moment, sadly. So they get my dork. Growth Spiral. Let's Growth Spiral. Let's play a elf. Foretell a card. They have 2 foretold cards? No. Starnheim was their foretold card. Okay. Another elf. The Wandering Emperor. Counter it. Starnheim, X equals 3. Alright, I need to draw one of my chunkers here. Saw it coming. Would have been nice to have that a minute ago. They have Vigilance. Okay. Sure. Besiege you. They make a big shark. Nothing I can do about that. And that's actually lethal. Okay, well, I guess we won our Gargaroths. Bringing some beaters. Maybe a Scoos to eat those memory deluges. I don't know if that's worth it, though. We just need to draw our chunky stuff. We drew a lot of cards that game, too. Yeah, we don't need to bring all this in, actually. Tyvar stand. That's our only insurance against Verdict. Yeah, we're not going to bother with Scoos. Unfortunately, this is a one-lander, so can't keep that. This also isn't great. Maybe Nissa could be helpful if we can resolve it. I guess I'll keep. and bottom, they scooped the match. Well, that's unfortunate that we didn't get to. Unfortunate in a way that we didn't get to finish the match, because that would have been the decisive third match. Not sure how it would have gone. Or our next couple of draws. That's a good draw. Into lands. Into more counters. Eh. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I didn't have Nissa mana at that point, so who knows? Could have gone either way. Our overall record was like 1-3-1. We didn't get to finish the last match against Blue-White Control. We were 1-1 going into round 2. I think that's like not a great matchup, but it's also not terrible because we do have good cards to deal with what they're doing. We did have Nissa in our hand. We also have Carnage Tyrants and Thrun as threats that are very difficult for them to deal with. So kind of a toss-up there. Yeah, the other losses were to like that really cool graveyard deck, which we were just not prepared for. An aggressive like Boros deck, and I forget what else. So we're 1-3-1, I think was the final result. And I think what I think about this deck now is the concept is sound. The idea of ramping in a Simic deck so that you can deploy green powerful threats, and green has like the best, rate-wise, chunkiest creatures that you can get for the mana, and protecting them with counter spells. The ramp allowing you to do both of that. And I do like the ramp of the growth spiral variety. Eureka Moments is more expensive. I think the thing that is wrong about this deck is like all of this top end. I think what you really want to do with this strategy is focus on like 2 and 3 drop creatures while holding up, spell pierces, negates, decisive denials, that kind of thing. You want to get on the board early, keep your superior creatures alive, and win, in the early to mid game. So that's where I think the deck really needs to go. I think when you're running like all this high end stuff, it's too important to, find things in exactly the right order. I think if you just have a lot more threats that are lower on the curve, you'll just draw them naturally and you'll be able to play them. Whereas trying to ramp up to our bigger stuff and having a lot of big stuff, that's a lot of cards like in the early game that don't do us any good, that we can't play. So I'm convinced the better way to do this is with a low to the ground deck, focusing on like 2 and 3 drop creatures, backed up by cheap counter magic. So I think if I were to reiterate this, that's the way I would go, and I'm sure that I will at some point play this again because it is a cool deck. I like the concept. I think it's solid. Yeah, the really aggressive matchups are a little hard for us. When you're playing blue-green, there's not really a lot in the way of like creature interaction. Probably some more bounce effects would be good to have in the sideboard, like some Fading Hopes or something. Maybe even, since we're focusing on 2 and 3 drop creatures, some more Brazen Borrowers in the main board is a cheap, easy way to like be able to interact with a creature while still advancing your game plan. But it's a fun deck, and I think the foundation is there. It's now just to iterate upon it and build it up. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed watching me play Simic Ramp Control. If you did and you like off-meta, off-kilter MTG content, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. My name is Rick, aka Shroom. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you in the next one.